Chug Mo Beer. We know what you're doing during the Miami games, but we appreciate the contribution to the channel so much. Mark and Cam, great show. Do you think Manny Diaz needs to tell Coach Baker to be more aggressive on defense like last year and Coach Enos to use the spread and our speed more?
No, I don't. I think that adjustments are still being made. I think that we're seeing that clearly. You saw it in the North Carolina game. You saw it in the Florida game on both offense and defense. And there were some things about the field position in the Florida game that precluded Dan Enos from continuing to do what he was doing on that first drive with the lateral spread, quick screen game, quick pass game. Just starting just with such negative field position, some of those things change. So, sometimes you obviously have to play the position that you're given in the game. So I think that Dan Enos is trying things to get the skill position players space. Obviously, like I said, Cam Davis has had 106 yards worth of run plays come off because of holding penalties. And that's only 2 plays, by the way. So 54 and 52. Those came off the board in the first 2 games because of holding. You got him space. You got him, but somebody on that play held each time. Okay. You scheme Mark Walton, my boy Roman, who I've known for a long time. He contributes to another Miami Hurricanes site. But, he schemed him high school open where, it's not like a projection thing. You see him like this on the field open. You did that with Jeff Thomas in the opener. That sack on the first drive, if you go back and look at that play, Jeff Thomas had a triple move, and he spun his defender around like a top, like a dreidel or something. And he's butt naked wide open for a touchdown, doing backflips and cartwheels in the end zone. But, the offensive line couldn't block Florida. So we didn't have time to get the ball. So I think that we're doing things on offense to get guys the ball. And I think that we even saw against Bethune-Cookman some more of those things that we're doing. So I'm not really concerned about that. On defense, it looked between the first quarter and second quarter of the North Carolina game, it seemed on the outside like Manny Diaz took the sticks back and started calling the defense. And I don't know if that's what happened or if Blake Baker really just, changed it up. And I think that it is more Blake Baker because you saw Manny Diaz on the sideline and he's not actually signaling at a time when plays would get signaled in. But yeah, I don't necessarily see more aggressive as the thing. There's just sometimes when things didn't go right. You blitz a safety in a corner from the same side of the field. So you're coming with a exotic zone blitz. But Bandy and Gervin Hall, instead of going through the C gap and D gap, like splitting a guy like this, they go through the same gap. And one gets blocked, and then he kind of trips up the other one. So it's an execution error maybe a little bit there. Or, maybe you don't call that specific blitz. So I don't necessarily think that it's a time when we really need to do too much of that. I would say, let's let the season play out a little bit more and let these guys, these coaches coach. That's what we're paying them for. So let them go through that. Let them develop their style and things like that and kind of set their own foundation because, yeah, it is different. And look, the secondary is very different. And like you saw, they North Carolina schemed up a double move to go at Trajan Bandy. But then they put that on film. So when they tried to scheme that up against Wake Forest last week, what happened? Wake Forest is ready for it because it's already been, seen. So, is everything perfect? No. But I would say let these coaches coach and before we really go into the, changing too much up at this time.